Hello, everyone. Joey Tabor here again. Thank you for joining us for our Champions League weekly show. I'm joined by Nick, who is from Eindhoven. Nick, can you introduce yourself and tell them a little bit about why you might be considered a PSV Dutch football expert?
Hey Joey, thanks for having me on here at Strategy News TV. Yeah, I've lived in the Netherlands in Eindhoven for 19 years before moving to the US. I've followed them my whole life. Having a red white heart from my family, whatnot. And I would consider myself a pretty decent fan with my friends. We used to go to the games back when we were 15, 16, 17. So it's good.
Yeah, I mean, Netherlands is a country I very much want to visit. Manchester United over the last maybe 15 years have signed four pretty damn good players from you. Jaap Stam, excellent center back. Ruud van Nistelrooy, clinical goal scorer. I wish we had him still. I wish he was young and maybe we could clone him. Ji-sung Park, great player. Always put a shift in. Played for the badge, do the dirty work. And obviously our most recent, signing from you guys, Memphis Depay. Now you've known about Memphis for quite a while because Pasha has told me, some things that you have told him and, the type of player he is and what can we expect from him. Can you tell us when you first heard of Memphis?
Yeah, so Memphis has been in the Dutch league on the radar for I would say at least 4 years now. When he made his move from Sparta Rotterdam to PSV Eindhoven, he was already a big talent. It's just he was young and he had, given his history, he had a tough youth, so he was hard to deal with for the PSV staff and motivational coaches. So, but you could see back when he was 16, 17, at that age, he was a rough diamond, but he had the potential to grow a lot. It would just play out on how his attitude towards the world and how people that were working with him, how that would play out. But it turned out to be quite okay, quite well actually, making this move to Man U last season. It's hurt my heart, having to have him leave, but it was gonna happen sooner or later. I was actually surprised we managed to keep him in Eindhoven that long, which was good for us because we managed to get the championship last year in the Eredivisie. Him and Wijnaldum played a very big part in that. They both ended up leaving, but yeah, I would say 4 years ago he was already showing a lot of potential, at that age, and I'm happy to see it with the rest of the world, like on the higher stage, can witness that right now.
Yeah, speaking of Wijnaldum, I was surprised he didn't go to a bigger club. I know Newcastle have a huge following and they consider themselves to be, a top club. But Wijnaldum for me is a really good talent, and I quite enjoy watching him play. Is there a standout game where Memphis kind of announced himself, or has it been a gradual progression for him over the years?
It's it's it had a few important game changers in big matches versus Feyenoord and Ajax 3 years ago, I would say, but it's been a gradual improvement. And most recently, in the past season, he just stayed consistent, which is really hard to do at that age when you're having a lot of pressure on you by the media and other clubs and transfer rumors. And he managed with that really well, I would say. And the last year, he just stayed consistent at what he does best, and that's in the box, one-on-one, making actions, being risky and being there, being a decision maker for the team in general. So that's how I would see his improvement and his his clinics on the field.
Yeah, he's been tried at striker, and before we came on, we were talking about that a little bit, and you told me that he had been tried at striker, in the academy and some reserve games, but you think, and everyone else, seems to think that left wing is his best position.
Yeah, absolutely. They tried him as a striker because he's a very physical guy from a very young age. He's a very well built young man, and he knows how to put pressure on defenders. And he's well on the ball, so he can distribute, being in the number 9 position. They tried that out, but they soon realized that his speed and his technical skills are just way more well better suited on the wings, where he can, you know, make the action and put other players in position. And he's practiced on his free kicks a lot. He would stay after practice and he would do the free kicks. And I watched some trainings of him doing that. He would stay after. You know, you're comparing him to Cristiano Ronaldo. I think that's a bit. Personally, I think that's a big statement. You know, you can't really compare that. You know, someone that young with Ronaldo is now a legend, but there's a lot of similarities. So, but having that practice, he can give in the ball really well. He has a good shot, has a good right foot. So he's definitely better for the wing. Definitely better for the wing, as the striker position requires more. Also some more height, and he's just way better suited on the wing.
Yeah, I mean, when you're playing striker, you have to be very disciplined. You have to play on the edge, you know, and he can do that at left wing. But, you know, I think just from what I've seen from him and seeing videos, that it's almost like he has this burst of speed when he comes in from the left, and he gets it onto that right foot. And even speaking, you're talking about with Ronaldo comparisons, I mean, he had more free kicks. I mean, he had the most free kick goals in Europe last season. So it's not very far off to say, you know, that he's almost achieved. I mean, maybe if he does it a few more years on the free kick taking, then you can definitely put him right there. But, you know, last year, I mean, like I said, he led the 5 major European leagues, all of Europe actually, in free kick goals. Moving on from Memphis, because, you know, we're very excited to have him at United. You know, he struggled a little bit early in the league. He did very well against Bruges. You know, I think that, and I said it yesterday, that we must be patient with him. He got taken off at halftime yesterday. But I think if Memphis just continues to learn from great pros like Schweinsteiger and Rooney, and even might learn a thing or two from Ashley Young, he's just going to continue to grow. He's at the right club, I think, to grow and progress. I think, you know, if you were to go to a club like Chelsea or PSG, you know, maybe they're not as patient with him. So we'll have to wait and see. Now, I don't watch much Eredivisie. I won't be I'll be the first to admit it. I'm not ashamed by that. It's hard to watch it in the States. You have to watch a stream or sometimes catch it on Goal TV. How are PSV doing so far in the Eredivisie? Compared to last year, obviously you won the championship. Memphis Depay, you know, scoring all those goals, 20-some goals. How are PSV doing this season?
Well, yeah, first off, I don't blame you on not watching the Eredivisie. It's been, you know, there used to be a little bit better with Ajax and PSV more on an international stage, but lately the Eredivisie has not been as exciting, I guess, because it's just 3 teams as opposed to the EPL, which I think, you know, is the most exciting league to watch, because it's just, especially with West Ham and Aston Villa and just the middle teams just getting a lot more players this year, makes it much more interesting to watch. It's not set in stone. It's not, you know, the top 3. But yeah, for last season, wait, what was the question again? I totally forgot.
Just how you guys are doing so far this season. You know, like I was saying, last season you won the championship.
Yes. All right, that's it. Yeah, so Memphis obviously last season had a big influence in us getting the championship. This season, however, we're off to a good start. We're only 5 matches in, but you can see other younger players taking up a stance, as Wijnaldum, a very experienced player on the midfield, has left. They're learning a lot from Andres Guardado from Mexico. He is now really the leader on the midfield. As last season, it was him and Wijnaldum pretty much directing the plays. So it gives some room and some opportunity for the younger players from our academy to prove themselves. And so far, it's been okay. We got I think 10 points out of 5 matches. Yeah. Now a shared 4th position. So we won last weekend 6-0 against Cambuur. Luc de Jong scored 3 goals that match. He's you know, his qualities as a striker are just in the box, and he's an amazing header. So I'm not surprised seeing him leave next semester or next year or the year after. But yeah, so far off to a great start. youngsters are showing themselves, given an opportunity. It's a fairly young team, but it's looking good so far. Pretty positive about it. Philip Cocu, the coach, is also happy to see the progress, even though he knows we're not at the level that we have to be to to win the league, and also to keep performing well on the international level. But we're definitely noticing that Memphis Depay left and Wijnaldum left for Newcastle and Manchester United respectively. So
Yeah, I mean it's tough. I mean to replace those two players in your team, any team would struggle. But going forward now, you know a little bit about Manchester United, so it's good that I have you here too now to talk about this. So Manchester United have Daley Blind playing at the center back position. Obviously, in the Premier League, it's known for its physicality, its toughness, and maybe the speed of play. Where do you think that PSV would be able to exploit Manchester United? What are the strengths of PSV? Now, I don't know. I know that the left back Williams has a lot of pace. Narsing also another player with pace, and obviously Luke De Jong. I know who you're telling me that he scored a hat trick in your last game, and he struggled at Newcastle, but that's okay because just because you didn't make it in England doesn't mean you're not a good player. So I know that Luke De Jong is a very good player. Where do you see maybe PSV causing Manchester United a bit of trouble, and also vice versa? Where can we maybe get at PSV? What are the strengths and weaknesses of this PSV team?
yeah, so one of the things I must note is that Williams is injured. He has a knee injury, so unfortunately he cannot play him, which is a big loss for us because he's been our major left back for pretty much the whole last season. We purchased Simon Paulsen from AZ, but he is not playing we just have someone from our own youth giving a chance, which is Joshua Brunet in the left back position. Also a fairly paced player. Is still young, so he still has to learn his runs and when to stay back and whatnot. He tends to go up as well, just like Williams. But it's a big loss for our squad right now. Luke De Jong, yeah, he didn't he didn't do that well at Newcastle. He only had a few starts and didn't really make the most of it. And he saw this step of going to PSV as an intermediate to play himself back into the watchers of bigger clubs, and also to gain a spot with the national team because of playing for PSV. He would get more playing time. He's competing with Jurgen Locadia, which is a talent from our own academy. He is 21 years old and he is he's really good too. He's been showing a lot of potential, and he just lost the competition battle between Luke De Jong for the striker position due to Luke De Jong having more experience, and he is also named our captain after a good preseason run. So Jurgen Locadia is not happy with the backup role, but Luke De Jong is filling that position as of now pretty well. So maybe we might see more of Luke De Jong in the future, as I said earlier. The strengths I would say our attacking line. We got Narsing on the right. He has a lot of pace, a lot of technique. You will see him making some acts, making some moves on Shaw. Shaw's pace, however, will probably make it difficult for Narsing to speed by him because Shaw is a pretty fast defender. So we'll see how that plays out. It's going to be interesting to watch how those two will match up. With Daley Blind as a central back, he will have a lot of trouble with Luke De Jong with his height and being good inside the box, and having a shot as well. But we know that Daley Blind is he's more of a position maker for United. So I think if we can somehow contain Daley Blind, having Luke De Jong on him and Narsing on him, whenever he has the ball, when Manchester United is building up, Manchester United likes to play with ball possession, which is not really our playing style because we like to play with the ball possession as well. And it's going to be it's going to be a tough match. Like, it's Manchester United, it's the biggest club in Europe. So, our stadium, 35,000 people, it's sold out in a week. So
It's going to be rocking.
it's going to be rocking. The fact they're playing at home the first game is good for us. It gives us that mental boost,
Yeah.
And,
I want to touch on something you said there. So PSV are a team that likes to play with ball possession as well. Do you see them maybe playing on the counterattack tomorrow? Because obviously both teams are going to want to hold the ball and just dominate time of possession and create chances that way. Almost like control the game. That's Van Gaal is he's a Dutch manager. Obviously. So is that something maybe PSV would maybe play on the counter tomorrow and just give up the possession for the because the pace of Narsing, like you were saying, it could maybe catch us out.
Yeah, Louis van Gaal and Cocu, they go way back. Van Gaal used to be his trainer at Barcelona when Cocu used to play at Barcelona. So that was back in 2000, like 1998. So they go way back. They know each other. They know each other's coaching style. Philippe Cocu has been our coach for 2 years. They know each other. They talk. It's for me, I think what PSV is going to try to do is they're going to try to keep the defensive line as solid as possible. Just hammer it down on the back and probably go for the counter attack, as they have the pace on the wings. Also with Davy Prupper, which is another Dutch talent, probably playing for Netherlands in the next few years on the international stage. He's on the right, playing below Narsing. He has a lot of pace too, so we're probably going to go for the counter attack. It's not going to be as exciting to watch, but we're definitely going to give us our all, since the last time we went on this international stage has been 7 years ago. So we're definitely all excited to be back on this UCL stage, and they're definitely going to go 100% for this. And it's not like we believe like we have nothing to lose, but we definitely think that we're going to go for the next round, even though we're going to see how realistic that is going into the next few matches.
You expect them to have a go. They're not going to sit back and play defensive in their own half. It's going to be a proper match of football.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we're going to give it our all. I mean, we have an ability to win, if we give it our 100%, and we kind of have to have the luck with Man U having a bit of an off day. Rooney not playing is a big relief for us. So we actually have a chance, and they notice it and they feel it, and they're hyped up, and it's going to be a very very interesting match to watch.
Yeah, with Rooney out, obviously we'll talk lineups in a minute. Let's try and predict the group. We'll do a little group prediction. Where do you think PSV will finish in this group?
I'm gonna be realistic and not listen to my red white heart and say we're gonna get third place. Man U first, Wolfsburg second, ours third, and Moscow, CSK and Moscow fourth.
It's a lot of people, not maybe not everyone, but a lot of people thought this was going to be an easy group for Manchester United. Now, I thought that at first, but then I kind of look at it. You got a tricky trip to Moscow. PSV are a team that you said they're going to come out and attack, and Wolfsburg. So it's not on paper. It's not as easy as a group as some might think. Would you say that?
Absolutely not. This is a pretty hard group for anyone to play in. Wolfsburg coming in second last season, having had a great season. They lost Kevin De Bruyne obviously to Man City, but they still have a lot of good players. They bought some new players. They have good team chemistry. They started off this season well too. So about Moscow, I haven't been actively following them up there, but they've always been great in their own national league, and also in the European stage. They've always done well, making it to the group stages. I think last year, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that, but yeah, it's definitely not the easy group. With PSV also, they're hungry. they're hungry to perform well and to show themselves after such a long time.
So I was thinking about this, and then I forgot, and I wanted to think it again. So teams that come to Old Trafford, and even when we play away, teams that actually have a go at us are the teams that give us the most trouble. You know, we saw Liverpool on Saturday kind of sit back in the first half, and it was completely boring. And had we been more cutting edge, we could have been up by 5 or 6 goals because they couldn't string together more than 3 passes. And in the second half, we took that early lead. So I wanted to say, you know, from our side of things, you know, if PSV do have a go, like you say, I think, you know, they could cause us some problems with their pace up top. And we'll have to wait and see, though. But I'm going to give you how I think Manchester United are going to line up, and then Nick will give you who he thinks PSV are going to throw out there. I think, obviously, David De Gea will start in net. He's our best keeper, you know, maybe best in the world, top 2, absolutely. So it'll be Darmian, Darmian and Shaw, Smalling and Blind. I think he will start. I know he'll start Schneiderlin. I have a feeling that maybe he didn't start on Saturday with an eye on Tuesday, because I think Schneiderlin has a little bit more mobility in his legs. This is no disrespect to the other two. Who his partner will be, I'm not too sure. With Rooney out, I fully expect Michael Carrick to start, as he is the vice captain. So I'll go for a midfield of Carrick and Schneiderlin. And then the 3 behind the striker will be Herrera and the number 10 position, Mata. Memphis will play on the left, and Fellaini will start again up top, because I don't think he's going to throw Martial in there. He might. There's talk that maybe Ashley Young will start, but you know, this is a big game for Memphis. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how Van Gaal handles it. Does he start him, throw him in there? You know, he hasn't done so well in the league, but he did well in the qualifier. And then also Ashley Young's performance against Liverpool, he came off the bench and went right at Nathaniel Klein. So it'll be interesting. That's who I think he'll line up with. Now, I would start Martial, because I think you need a proper striker out there. And like Steve White said, I wouldn't start Fellaini at number 9 in a preseason friendly on FIFA. So we'll have to wait and see. I mean, he had me dying with that. He's a classic one-liner guy. So what formation, Nick, will PSV come out with, and who do you think will line up for them in their team?
I think you're pretty. I like your lineup for Man U. I'm not like, I know the Ashley Young came right off the bench in the halftime, and he murdered Klein, and he was excellent the whole second half, creating chances for Man U. But I'll give you my 11, which is going to be Jeroen Zoet in the goal. He's our main goalie for the past season. He's fit. He's playing. No doubt about that. On the left, we have Joshua Burnett, like I mentioned. In the center, we're going to have Moreno, that we bought this transfer period, actually, from Espanyol. Then we have Bruma, and also as a center back. And Santiago Arias, the Colombian international, on the right. In the center, we're going to have Guardado on the left. Hendricks as a defensive midfielder. He's a young kid, 22, from our academy. He's been doing well. He's been pretty consistent. I think he's good for this game, as he's more of a defensive player, hoping to stop the attacks that Man U is going to launch. On the right, we're going to have...
Okay. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it cut out for a second, so
all right.
continue.
Okay, so I'm just going to start with the midfields, like Guardado on the left, Hendricks in the center. On the right is going to be Davy Prupper. And then on top, we're going to have Lestien on the left, which is who we bought him basically to replace Memphis Depay on the left wing. Obviously, that's not an easy thing to do, but he's been doing well in the league this season. So it's going to be interesting to see how he performs on this level against a club like Manchester United. Up top, we have De Jong, no doubt about that. And then on the right, we're going to have Narsing. And that's probably going to be the starting 11.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be an interesting game. I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, your club hasn't been in this competition for some time. And, you know, obviously it's well documented that Manchester United weren't in it last season. And to be honest, I didn't really take a keen interest to the Champions League. It was kind of like depressing every time I heard that music. And, to be able to watch tomorrow, I won't be able to watch live. I have a test in one of my classes, but I will be recording it, and I'll be flying home to get it on. So I want to thank everyone for watching. If you could, please put a like on this video. Stay tuned for more content from the channel. You know, Jonathan Schrager's been putting out some very, very great interviews with ex-players and other journalists, and we appreciate all the viewing, all the thumbs up, all the likes, all the comments. Let me know in the comment section below who you think United will throw out there. Will Memphis start? Would you start Martial? There's a lot of questions I want answered in the comments from you guys. I want your predictions as well. I'm going to predict now, and I'm going to predict a 2-1 to Manchester United. But this could very easily be a 1-1 game or a draw. And to be honest, for our first game, you know, in Eindhoven, obviously, you know, you want to win these games because you want to make sure you get that first spot and qualify, so you can avoid one of the giants in the knockout stages. But it's going to be rocking, like Nick said. They're going to come out and they're going to have a go at us. And I think there's going to be some nerves because there will be, you know, Darmian, Shaw. I think who else? You know, maybe Memphis potentially will be, and Herrera, I think, as well, will be giving out, you know, their Champions League debuts. So, Nick, what do you think the score will be?
I'm hoping on them on PSV having a good day and their defensive line being solid. So I'm going to go with 2-1 PSV. Luke de Jong and probably Guardado with a free kick.
Hey, I wouldn't predict a loss for my team either, so I can't. I'll go for goal scorers. I will give them to Mata and a Herrera penalty. I don't know why, but I just want to see him smash another penalty home. So again, thank you for watching, everyone. Thank Nick for coming on. It was great to have you on here finally. And we'll both be, you know, watching the game. Maybe we can get you on for the review of the game, hopefully, if you're free. Also, I want to thank Pasha because Nick and Pasha, I believe, are roommates at university, and Pasha is the one who put this together. So thank you to him, and thank you for everyone that watched. Have a good night, and we'll see you hopefully tomorrow or the next day for the review.
Thank you, Joey.
Yeah.